Welcome to the Whitetail Dimension headquarters here. This will be the first video on this new channel. We've settled on the name. The business LLC has been established. This is a quick look at some of the better bow kills. 20 plus years of bow hunting. But this will be the first video to kick off the new channel and a new business. Hope you enjoy it. It's January 22nd. Missouri deer season has been over for a week now. Here at the 40-acre home farm. I've owned this farm for this will be 3 years now. October will be 3 years, and I've had 2 years of habitat improvements and work on the farm to hold deer, promote deer, encourage bedding, just make an overall whitetail parcel. So it's been very minimal intrusion throughout the hunting season. Actually, I haven't really been in here much since probably August, except for hunting on the right wind and the right conditions. So just gonna walk the farm really slowly and thoroughly today, check out some bedding improvements, and look at some deer stand setups, reassess upcoming projects for this year. The timber itself, I think I've got to a point where I can let it be. We've got good cover, good bedding opportunities, but there's a few things we can probably do. So I'm gonna walk the farm today, sort of assess, see what's happening, look for bedding areas, and bring you along for all that. Let's go. This is just one of several sort of mini clear-cut areas. Definitely some beds in here. Right in there. There. It's kind of hard to see. I should have done this when there was still snow on the ground, but just didn't work out schedule-wise. But these little pockets just create opportunities for bedding. And I've got several places like this throughout the woods. The farm is 40 acres, 30 of it's timber. I would say that these are useful and helpful and serve the purpose. But another little pocket up here. I won't show all of these because they get, well, there's probably a dozen or more, and they just all get to looking the same. But this one, I have to believe this is a buck bedding area. a lot of droppings, a lot of little bed areas, a lot of browse, a lot of these stumps that were created. The sprouts off of those stumps are just browsed down to the nub. This is actually a north facing slope, but you can really see why a buck might find this an appealing place to bed. Just the view, the thick cover, the security cover, and the view out across that draw, across that bottom. It's like pretty good quality. And we're on the lower side of this. It goes up, oh, probably another 50, 75 feet in elevation up there. And there's more. I've got more pockets of bedding up there and up and over the hill and around the corner. So feel pretty good about it. This is what you would call a buck bed. I know it probably doesn't show up very well on the camera, but there's a bed there, and there's always been a bed there. Since the first time I walked these woods, there's a bed there. Always been a bed. There's hair. It's just always been used. And I've done a lot of improvements in this area, but this has still remained a perennial bed. It's kind of tucked under some pitiful looking cedar trees here. And I don't know if it shows up on the camera, but this is sort of a higher elevation. It's not the highest point, but it's at a lower, sort of a bench level. You can see clear across that draw where it drops off really steep there. Can look off this way and see, I actually did quite a bit of cutting in that area and opened up some canopy, and there's a lot of rubs and trails and stuff right in through there, browse on some stumps. Really thick in through there, and actually behind here I've done a lot of cuttings and opened up a little mini clear cut up on the upper side, but this still remains a highly sought after bed. And I'm gonna put a camera on this little spot just to see, but that's what I would call a true buck bed. Okay, this is what I call the persimmon plot in the back side of the farm, south side of the farm. There's actually still some green in here and a little bit of turnips up here. A lot of activity back here. Every buck on the farm gets his picture taken right there on that mock scrape with the camera on that tree. Actually still some little turnips here and some little bit of greens. There's actually quite a few little turnips left in here. That's the stand set up for it. Get approach across my neighbor's ag field with any kind of a north wind, I can get in that stand undetected. But this has been one of the true successful areas of the farm, and done a lot of work back here. Haven't actually shot a deer out of that stand, not because I couldn't have, but just didn't want to disturb the area by shooting a doe, and didn't get the buck I was looking for back here. But this is a really cool spot. Okay, this is my west property line. That's my neighbor's old trailer and equipment and stuff there. This trail leading up comes out into my main food plot. Mock scrape there that gets a picture of a lot of, scrape actually looks like it's been worked recently. Just about every buck on the farm get their picture taken here as well. But this is the main food plot. Standing beans, big turnip patch out here. As you can see, this plot is not overly used, but I think it will be going into the later into the winter months, and I'm certain I will collect some sheds out here. I think I picked up 4 sheds out in this field last year, but got to show you this. Okay, I wear a size 13. Look at that massive turnip, and this field is just full of that. I would challenge any turnip plot out there. Anything you can see on a lot of good greens there still left. That must be some type of a kale or rape, but a lot of tonnage still out here. Look at that huge radish, tillage radish. Tremendous, you can smell it, tremendous amount of food still out here. Screening that I've planted, annual screening, more screening along the road out here. Got switchgrass that's established. This will be the 3rd spring of it, and it's actually looking pretty good through there. A little closer look at this switchgrass. It's a good, that's a little over 6 feet tall. This area back here was always in hay. I've got young persimmon trees coming up all through here. I don't know, 50, 75 little persimmon trees. We'll thin those out when we figure out which ones actually produce fruit. But it's a good couple, 2 or 3 acres of brush and cover coming in there. Got the pond over there. Got 4 acres of tillable out by the road. The local farmer farms now. I'm eventually going to put that into deer habitat, either this year or next. Just have to see what the schedule is going to look like. But that's kind of an abbreviated tour of the farm. All work done by Whitetail Dimension. One other thing worth showing here is this little orchard. This was planted last spring. It's apples, pears, chestnuts, and a crab apple tree. A few of them have died. Actually, 2 of the 3 chestnut trees are dead. But the one that did live looks really good. So those trees have a 1-year warranty, and I'll get a refund on those this spring. But it's north of the main food plot, which is up there. Got to stand in that big walnut tree that I can hunt it. Not the best setup. Probably have to rethink that, but it's a start.